I tell you why I don't get into it for other organizations. I used to really look at that very carefully with organization. I just don't think it fits in human design. Whenever we have a group of 3 people or more, there is a separate energetic structure that is constructed that is different than the composite charts, that has a different theme than the composite charts. That separate energetic structure is called the Penta. The Penta is comprised of the 3 channels that go from the sacral to the G and from the G to the throat. They tell you a lot about energetics, and pentas can be, and one of the most interesting things I think about pentas is that they will tell you about the stability of a group. So if you have a penta that is 3 people or any multiplication of 5 plus 1, so 3 people, 6 people, 6 people, 11 people, 16 people, 21 people. Anytime you have that one little dangling person in a group of multiplication of 5, then that is what's called an unstable penta. And you'll find in unstable pentas, there's a lot of tension. And oftentimes what happens is inadvertently some extra person, and it's not one person, it's whatever, there's just an awareness that there's an extra person. Some extra person is going to always be gone from the group. So if you go out to eat at a dinner and there's 11 of you, somebody's always going to be in the bathroom, or somebody's always going to be outside. I don't know, people smoke cigarettes anymore. So F3 is a very unstable penta. And that becomes very interesting when we start to look at family dynamics and looking at how when you've got 2 parents and the first kid, it's tense and it can be really challenging. And part of what will happen is it'll be like 2 people against one, and then the other 2 people against one. There's a really challenging dynamic with 3 people. That's the first thing about pentas. The penta, the different channels have different themes than they do in a birth chart. So those channels all have different themes in terms of the meaning of the penta. Here's where I start to get a little bit nervous about the penta, Maggie. I don't choose my family, right? I give birth to a kid or I adopt a kid. You're not going to calculate which kid do I need to fill my penta, right? And then try to give birth on that day. First of all, that doesn't work. And secondly, it's just that that's a thing. I see a lot of people just in Facebook and in passing looking at who do I hire or who should I date to either fill my penta or to fill parts of my chart. And I will tell you that Ra would have had fits over that he always said, it's not about, I need this to date this. I mean, he will say type should date type, but then he would in the second sentence say, but you date who you date. That design is designed to be a tool to help us love, honor, and respect each other. And that we should not be using human design as a hiring tool in the sense that we shouldn't be looking at, well, I need a gate 2. I got to find a gate 2 somewhere. That's not what it's about. And that's how I see it being structured in the business setting and being used in some of the business conversations that I have. And I don't agree with that. That's not how human design is supposed to be used. It's not, I jokingly call it astrological eugenics is not the goal of human design. It's like, it's just not how it's supposed to be. So that's why and on top of that, I just don't think the relevancy, I think it gives us something to get distracted by in business, because really business, and I talk about this quite a bit, is business by design, the way we tend to talk about it, isn't really what business is about. The principles of business are universal. You have to have a need that you're filling. It has to be the right time to fill that need. You have to be available, meaning you've done your foundational work in being able to meet that need. You have to be able to communicate that need, and you have to be in service. and what you have to offer, you have to be solid and strong in the value. It has to be in integrity, and you have to be in integrity, and you have to be leading a path of service if you want your business to be sustainable. And that doesn't have anything to do with type. And in fact, if you look at the design of business in the chart, business is a manifester. And it doesn't make sense to a certain degree if you start to think of, but we work in our business, right? But it's all manifested energy. So there's problems in the conversation about what is business and doing business by design. And I would say use the charts of the people in your life who are working for you to know how to best support, inspire, sustain, respect, nurture, and celebrate those people so you can get the most, so that you can all collaborate and get the most out of the journey.
Mhm.